Back in 1964, in Jonesboro, Louisiana, a group of Black World War II veterans who believed in armed self-defense formed the Deacons for Defense and Justice. The group's objective? To protect civil rights activists and their families who were threatened by the Ku Klux Klan, white vigilantes, and discriminatory treatment by police under Jim Crow law.
This is African American History is American History. Welcome. I'm your host, Harlan Kearsley. This program's goal is to foster understanding, promote discussion, and expand knowledge through stories of historical events, bios of unsung heroes, as well as timely and relevant news stories which hopefully will paint a vivid picture of the effects of segregation, discrimination, and bigotry on the lives of both blacks and whites.
On February 21st, 1965, the first affiliated chapter of the Deacons for Defense and Justice was founded in Bogalusa, Louisiana, followed by a total of 20 other chapters in Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Alabama. The Bogalusa chapter gained national attention during the summer of 1965 in its violent struggles with the Ku Klux Klan. The Deacons for Defense and Justice represented a new face of the civil rights movement as they emerged as one of the first visible self-defense forces in the South. The strategy and methods that the Deacons employed attracted the attention and concern of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
This is African American History is American History.
The FBI authorized an investigation into the group's activities, but it stalled when more influential Black Power organizations, such as the Black Panther Party, emerged following the 1965 Watts riot. Most of the civil rights organizations at the time were also concerned about the Deacons' methods. They either kept silent about them or rejected their activities altogether. However, the Deacons for Defense and Justice proved to be effective in providing protection for local African Americans who sought to register to vote and for Black and white civil rights workers in the area. The Deacons provided security for the 1966 March Against Fear, which took protesters from Memphis to Jackson, Mississippi. This march was initiated by civil rights activist James Meredith. Meredith had become the first African-American student to integrate the University of Mississippi by enrolling there in 1962. He decided to protest the racial violence in his home state by engaging in a 21-day solitary march down U.S. Highway 51 from the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, to the Mississippi State Capitol in Jackson, a total of 270 miles. On the second day of his march, June 6, 1966, he was shot and wounded by James Aubrey Norville, a white sniper. Unable to continue the march, he was taken to Memphis Hospital to recover from his injuries. Major civil rights leaders, including the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Floyd McKissick, and Stokely Carmichael, decided to continue the march with the Deacons for Defense and Justice providing armed security. Other organizational participants included the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party and the Medical Committee for Human Rights. as well as white leaders such as UAW President Walter Reuther, who brought 10 buses of Union supporters. Roy Wilkins of the NAACP was originally scheduled to participate, but withdrew when he learned the Deacons for Defense would protect the marchers. With public attention, as well as the attention of the FBI, focused elsewhere, the Deacons lost most of their notoriety and slowly declined in influence. By 1968, the Deacons' activities had come to an end. From that year forward, with the entry of blacks in politics in the South, control of more political and economic activities in black communities was achieved.
This is African American History is American History.
In 2003, a television movie called Deacons for Defense, directed by Bill Duke and starring Forrest Whitaker, aired. It focused on the 1965 events in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and the formation of the group. Even though racial polarization is still a hot-button topic for discussion today, young people often struggle to comprehend just how difficult life was for blacks in the 1960s, or just how necessary the Deacons for Defense and Justice really were.
This has been African American History is American History. The episode you've been listening to,
The Deacons for Defense and Justice,
was written and directed by Harlan Kearsley.
And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Once you do, you'll be notified as soon as new episodes are posted. Thanks again, and please stay safe. African American History is American History. Copyright H.C. Kearsley, 2024.